Well, hello and welcome to Bloomberg. Quint, Agam and I are here to wrap the markets for you. Well, the Nifty snapped a 3-day winning streak to consolidate today. So it ended about 25 points lower at 8744. So it continued to hover around the 8750 mark throughout the day. That's where we saw the Nifty trading on the back of lack of any positive global cues or due to the lack of support from the global market. But again, yes, some consolidation was seen. But having said that, the Nifty is still up about 130 points from Friday's close. Agam, what are you picking up from the FNO market?
So it's a new series, and right now traders are taking advantage of a relatively higher premium. So we have seen a lot of writing in the 8500 put, and of course on the higher side it's a 9000 call. We are looking at a substantial amount of increase as far as open interest is concerned. Once again, based on the way things are panning out as far as the range goes, we're looking at the 9000 call on the upper side and the 8600, where we have seen a maximum build up of open interest. That also gives you an idea of the range. As far as the indices are concerned, we're looking at around 2% addition in the Nifty open interest futures, and the same for the Nifty Bank. But we really haven't seen too much as far as the volatility index is concerned, because we've just seen a little bit of a decline. Once again, given the fact that we haven't seen too much movement on the Nifty, that also explains why we have seen a lack of movements in the VIX as well as the futures open interest.
Okay, in terms of the sectors, what was really buzzing today? Well, Nifty Realty, if you look at that sector, that was the top gainer today, up almost 1.9%. So Realty Index continues to hinge higher. It was the fourth straight session of gains, and it was led by companies like DLF, Prestige Estates, Oberoi, Indiabulls Real Estate. A host of mid-cap real estate stocks were also buzzing today. That was closely followed by the Nifty Metal Index, again trading with gains of about 0.8%. So again, fourth straight day of rise even for the metal stocks. Just like we had seen yesterday, the PSU Bank Index continued to trade in the green, quite contrary to the Nifty Bank and the Nifty Private Bank Index. So PSUs are likely to benefit more from the falling yields, which will help them add to their treasury incomes. But Agam, in terms of specific stocks, what is it?
So I really wanted to point it out that I did a chart of the day today, which involved the fact that the Tata Motors DVR is at a substantial discount to the ordinary shares of Tata Motors. And you know what? It seems at least someone's been listening, because what we actually get to see and notice here is the Tata Motors DVR has gone up as much as 3%, and Tata Motors, while it has moved up, it hasn't moved up as much as Tata Motors DVR. So the gap that I pointed out to, once again, is narrowing. But other than that, we're looking at gains in Ultratech Cement up 2%, Bharat Petroleum up 2% as well, and some gains seen in Hindalco Industries. ONGC is where we're looking at losses around 2.5%, but this is after 3 days of back-to-back gains. So this is most certainly profit booking here. Axis Bank, Idea Cellular and Bajaj Auto are losing out to a certain extent, but the momentum, at least as far as the gainers go, is towards some of the winners out there. Now, this as far as some of the movers concerned, can you tell us a little more about what are the other stocks which are buzzing in today's day of trade?
Agam, again, what are the trends that we're noticing as some of the mid-caps are concerned? Well, cement stocks continued to witness some buying interest today. So we had Heidelberg Cement, India Cement, Prism Cement, all of these ending with gains of about 3 to 4%. Mid-cap IT was having a good run. So we had names like Persistent, 8K Miles, KPIT, all of them seeing good gains. Tire stocks continued with their dream run. MRF, Apollo Tyres, Fiat, JK Tyres, Balakrishna Industries, all of these were seeing gains of about 2 to 5%. Talking about tire stocks, MRF and Apollo Tyres, just want to highlight, these are two top gainers on the Nifty Auto Index over a 1 month and a 3 month period. It's not the auto stocks, but the tire stocks which are really standing out. Continuing with auto, Nomura initiated coverage on Motherson Sumi today with a buy in a target price of 387. So that's a potential 16% upside. So that was another stock which was seeing some gains. And we also had Sharda Cropchem, that agrochemical company stock, consumed as much as 18% after Motilal Oswal initiated coverage. That's the those are some of the
Right.
stocks.
So you already addressed Radha Cropchem. Let's also take a look at some of the other gainers in the broader markets. So we have Magma Fimcorp, which has gained around 12.5%, along with HCL Infosystems also gaining 12%, PNC Infratech gaining 10%, along with Swan Energy as well. And Swan Energy has been gaining quite some momentum in the past couple of sessions. Taking an idea and seeing what's happened in the losing end, well, we're looking at losses but not substantial enough. IDFC Bank, of course, taking a cut around 3%. Similarly, CESC and PVR also declining by just as much, and Techno Electric also looking at losses of around 2.5%. But again, like I said, the momentum as far as the broader markets go clearly belong to the gainers. But you want to tell us something about the Reliance Infra deal, Shraddha?
Yes, Agam. So today, Reliance Infra signed a binding term sheet with Adani Transmissions to sell 3 of its transmission projects. It has about 3 transmission assets, so they're going to be selling all of that. Financial details not known. That's not something that they've disclosed. Now, just to tell you all, the long-term consolidated borrowings of Reliance Infra stands at about 21,000 crores. Now, Reliance Infra has previously mentioned that they're looking to monetize their cement business, road assets, and the Mumbai power business to deleverage. Surprisingly, there's no news on any of these 3, and transmission business is what they're looking to sell now, something that they hadn't spoken about previously. Earlier this year, as in just in August, the company had sold its cement business to Birla for about 4,800 crores. They also said they're looking to monetize the Mumbai distribution business. And Anil Ambani, just at the AGM, which Purva and Sajid attended, he has just said that they're focused to be debt-free at the standalone level. So one more deleveraging or monetizing of their assets is what we really saw today. But we don't have details of the sale price.
Right. So let's talk about the IPO, which is open today. Let's bring in Somit. So why don't you tell us about the kind of subscription that we've seen in the first day?
Yes, Endurance Technology is open today, and the last update that we had on National Stock Exchange showed that it was subscribed only 5% as of 2:45 p.m.
Right.
Yesterday, the company raised as much as 348 crore rupees from anchor investors. The prominent anchor investors were Small World Fund, Merrill Lynch, Goldman Sachs, Nomura, Government of Singapore, and 3 insurance companies, ICICI Life, HDFC Life, and SBI Life.
So what about the brokerages, Somit? What are the brokerages saying and making of this IPO as a whole?
The brokerage notes that we came across all had a subscribe rating on this for this IPO, mainly because of 2 reasons. One, it has a good track record of both organic and inorganic growth, and second was valuation wise at the upper end of the price band, that is 472 rupees. The price to earnings ratio comes around 22.8 times, which is fairly lower when compared to peers.
Right.
So now let's see what are the subscription number that comes in for the next 2 days.
Absolutely. So it certainly makes for a reasonably good IPO, at least fundamentally speaking, because I was also looking at some of the debt to equity ratios, and it has a debt of around 1,400 crores and an equity. It has an equity around 1,400 crores and a debt around 600 crores, including long-term and short-term debt. And I expect, I think the return on equity is also well about 20% for 20%. Now. So well, these are just some of the variables that the investors can keep an eye on. But is there anything else that we are keeping an eye on, Shraddha?
Agam, just an update with respect to how the currency and the debt markets are doing on day 2. So the second day after the RBI policy, yesterday's RBI policy, where 25 basis points repo cut is what happened. Well, rupee opened about 16 paise weaker, but then recovered some of the losses at this time. The 10-year bond yield, that is also fallen by another 5 to 6 basis points today. So given that many of the brokerages have actually read Urjit Patel's stance as dovish, and some broking firms like Kotak and Morgan Stanley have said that they're penciling in yet another rate cut in FY17. So beyond, more over and above the 25 basis points that came in yesterday. But I believe that covers the entire gambit of markets, equity, debt, and currency. So that's your market trap for today. We will see you back again at 3:45 p.m. tomorrow. Thank you for watching Bloomberg.